So once again, I've purchased a new watch, and I've got a soft spot for the reissue watches or the vintage looking watches that are not necessarily old as such. And one thing in particular that got me was the dial or the color of the watch. So I thought I'll review it and show you, my viewers, and then give you my thoughts on the watch and whether it was a waste of money or a good buy. Stay tuned. So you may already be familiar with a review I've done previously on the Timex, the diver reissue, which is this one here. And I thought, I am a fan of Timex. I think they've got a great heritage. And I thought, let's just add one more to the mix. So let me take you through my newest purchase. So the watch I'm talking about today is the Timex MK1 steel chronograph, the TW 2396400, for those that are after specific model numbers, which is this bad boy here. Now, just to get straight into it and open it up, it comes with a nice cardboard box, all that jazz. And here it is. If I just get a bit of a close-up for you, that's the model I'm referring to right there. And the one thing that really stood out and attracted me to this particular watch is something that's very, I guess, minor, but it's these little, the indices, so the markers here, they're quite a nice green color, and the back screen of the watch is actually a beige. The dial color is a beige color, so it really gave it that nice retro or vintage look that I was chasing, and with a nice leather band. So I'm just going to take it out of the box so I can show you further. Okay, so let's just take it out of the box, and it presents quite nicely here in the on the pillow, as you can see, as well as inside the box you've got the Timex warranty information, some mumbo jumbo on the models and labels, and all the other really unexciting stuff, if you ask me. The watch itself is, let's just move the box out of the way. So the watch itself is on a nice genuine leather band, which is 20, it's got 20 millimeter, apologies for the focus, 20 millimeter bands that it fits. The case is 42 mil by approximately 13 mil in thickness. The dial color is a beige color, which is the first thing that I noticed that really got my attention on this watch, and that made me want to go for it. And then the glow in the dark, the hour markers are in a nice sort of aqua green color as well. Well, that's how I would explain it. The glass is a mineral glass, so yeah, they're pretty strong to breakage. However, it would scratch quite easy. But then in this price range, wouldn't surprise me. The brown leather band, it weighs about 54 grams, and it is a quartz movement, so nothing too fancy. That's the model number again, and as you will see here, the recommended retail on this is quite hefty. Not what I paid for it. I picked it up on eBay from a reputable liquidator, well, a seller. And just to show you the back of the watch, there's not much to it. It just says stainless steel, 50 meters water resistant, timex.com, and the battery type. And right here it says Philippines. So I'm not sure whether they do make it in other countries, but this one specifically says Philippines. And the leather band do have the quick access springs on it, so you can change it. And I dare say, at a watch like this, I'm sure there'll be a lot of nice NATO bands that will fit and look quite elegant as well. Now, I'll just take the screen protector out of the way. So that's how the watch presents. Now, actually, I do like this little rope around the leather as well. So that's the old, well, my previous Timex reissue. This is the Mark 1, and it's something about the Mark 1 collection that I also do enjoy, although this is my first of the watches. Now, just to put in a bit of a comparison with one of my other daily chronograph watches, which people love to hate, is the Omega Swatch or Moon Swatch, whatever you like to call it. And it's, I'm not comparing one watch to another, but just to show you a bit of a comparison, you know, in regards to the size. This is stainless steel as opposed to this, well, plastic. It's not plastic, but I like to call it plastic. Now, one thing that I noticed first off, and when I took it out of the box, and I did try to set it up immediately and get the time rate right, excuse my bad England, is these pushes. So the pushes have close to no spring movement. And what I mean by that is, see, I just started it now. There is no clicking. There's nothing to say that the button went in all the way. So I'll stop it again. And to be honest, the first couple of times, I don't think it even moved. It was almost like it was seized. And then you've got the bottom one to reset it. You've got the date, time, and stopwatch in the watch. And one really, really cool feature, if I just turn off the light, is the Indiglo. Now, for those of you that are not familiar with Timex watches, a lot of them do have the Indiglo feature. So I'm just going to turn this light off now. So I'm just going to try and demonstrate it here, which is very hard to sort of get a clear picture, but that's with it pressed on now. So as you can see, there's a bluish tint in the background. That's the Indiglo feature of the watch. So with this particular feature, I have found out since that there is a way to program it. And when I say program it, is you press this button, you hold it, flicks a couple of times. And at the moment, the only way to get the Indiglo to work is to push in the crown. However, once you do that, you press it, hold it, flashes twice, then you can press any of the pushes and the Indiglo light will come on, which is quite handy if you need it at night. It does have the luminous markers on it as well, including the hour and the minute marker. And we'll just do a quick test on the markers there. I'm not expecting massive lume there, but then again, who cares, right? Because you do have the Indiglo backlight. One other thing worth mentioning is that when I first took the watch out of the box, I noticed that some of the dials weren't actually lined up properly on the 12 o'clock, and it took a little bit of research, and when I mean research, Google tells you everything, on how to basically realign all the hands in the subdials, and all that meant was pulling out the crown at the first stop, pressing one button which will control one, pulling it out the second time which will control the other, and so on and so forth. So it was an easy fix, like you do on other chronographs as well, but it was just something that annoyed me, which I got over pretty quickly. So let's just put it on hand and just to see what it actually sits like, which I haven't put on yet. So one interesting observation that you might not have picked up already, but here's the Mark 1 stamp on the leather band. But check this out, I've never seen this before on any of my other leather bands. It's numbered to where the notches are, to where you adjust the band. So at the moment I'm sitting on number 4. So perhaps if I have a couple of beers and a pizza, I might need to get it down to 3, or vice versa, get it a bit tighter. But that's interesting little system there. One thing that suits perhaps others and not necessarily myself is that you'll notice that the band starts off quite thick here and then it tapers down a very thin finish. Now, I'm sure comfort-wise that'd be quite nice, but I personally like my bands to be square all the way across without the tapering. But again, that's just my preference. And I dare say, looking at this leather strap, it's not the best quality leather, because you can see where it's sort of bending, and it could even be bonded leather, who knows. I'm hoping he's going to get a good patina, but nevertheless, if not, I'll bring out the trusted NATO straps. So just to have a quick look what it looks like on my chunky wrist. It's not bad. Yeah, when I say it's not bad, I like it. I think it sits quite nice. It's not a very big watch. It's not a small watch. It's definitely not a. It's not a thick watch, so it's not gonna. You can comfortably wear it. Under a business shirt, and I also think that a watch like this does look pretty good, casual, and you can even dress it up as well. If again, I don't want to sound too snobby, but if you don't mind the Timex logo, but me personally, it doesn't bother me. I think it's retro, I think it's unique, and I wonder whether you may get me a few conversation starters too, because of the beige color, which I'm not too sure if it's coming up on the camera as it is, but I may put a photo up just so you can see what it actually does look like. So yeah, that's the Timex MK1 still chrono, calendar, Indiglo, stopwatch, obviously the chronograph, 42mm with a mineral glass, and a nice little buy to add to the collection. Well, thank you for staying tuned till the end, and I hope you've enjoyed that video. Perhaps that's made your decision a bit easier, or giving you consideration for another watch. Whatever the case may be, thanks for tuning in. My name is Sash, and this is ST Reviews. Goodbye.